Flag on the play, delay of game. This video has been crazy delayed. I'm sorry, folks. It is what it is. The truth is, the fact of the matter is this. I posted plays that I liked last night, and then I look like I do every day. I see what every other capper and content creator is pushing out there, and when I saw that everything was pretty much identical to what I had posted the night before, I tried to look for new value and new options. So when I come on here, I provide value to you guys that are viewing, because if I'm just coming on here and regurgitating the popular community plays, which are normally the best plays, but everyone's already talked about those, then what's the point of you coming on here to listen to me? Besides the fact that I'm entertaining, of course, because everyone wants to be entertained. But with all that in mind, I couldn't really find anything, because even though it's a 13-game slate, they're dragging their feet with all of the projections and fantasy scores, and I needed to get this video out. I couldn't wait anymore. So without further ado, I'm going to give you two must plays that I think you should have in all formats tonight, and it might not be what you're expecting. Could it possibly be under season? Tune in and stick around, and let's see what we can find here. Play number one. It's no surprise. I'm going right back to the man, the myth, the legend, the MVP Pizzle, Joel Embiid, 34.5 points. Now, if you want to talk about scary, my brother in Christ, nothing scares me more than Joel Embiid versus the Washington Wizards. But with that logic behind us, because remember, the one thing that I'm not going to come on this thing and do is try to predict a blowout. I get the spread's egregious. I get all that. But at the end of the day, both teams are professionals and anything can happen. They can both just make shots and it can go the other way. And if the game does stay competitive, Joel Embiid is most likely going to soar over this projection. In fact, I got him just around 35 to 36 points in a predictive model. Can't remember exactly which one it is, but I know he was going over 34.5. It's a cupcake matchup for him. It's a pace-up spot. It's just no one's able to stop him from that team. In fact, if you want to gamble and go with his fantasy score, I wouldn't hate on you for that either, because he does have block and steal equity. He just dropped 76 fantasy points in this matchup on December 6th. 76! He is the de facto best player on this slate given tonight's matchup, and that is just a fact, not an opinion. I know Joker's on the slate, I know Luka's on the slate, but nobody's in a better matchup than Joel Embiid tonight in a position to crush. This is a game where he could stat pad and literally just drop 40 real points like I called the other night. I'm pretty sure he came close to 40 when he played the Wizards. Yeah, he put up a 50 bomb. Absolutely, he put up a 50 burger and right in your faces. And I was on him. I'm pretty sure he was the thumbnail that day. You love to see it. And I get that the points is a high number. So if you want to take his fantasy, like I just said, it's in play. Or this was at 6.5. It's now at 7. You could even take his points, rebounds, assist, or even just his points plus rebounds, or even his points plus assist. Folks, it really comes down to doing whatever you want to do. Even his rebounds plus assist. I cannot believe this. I just got this at 17.5 the other day. Now it's all the way up to 19.5. The man has been crushing. Is he due regression? 100%. Absolutely. The man's going to come back to reality at some point. But is it going to be against the Washington Wizards? Me's a thinking not so much. Okay? So, dealer's choice. I'm just going to go with the points and the fantasy score. I'm pretty sure I got his line better elsewhere. In fact, that is a perfect segue in today's sleeper slip that I have for you guys right here. Joel Embiid, 33.5 points. We get a 1-point discount by taking it on sleeper. Yeah, we pay a little bit of the juice, but it is what it is. It's a great play. Joel Embiid, 33.5 points. Derrick Jones, 17.5 points plus rebounds. And DeAaron Fox, less, 31.5 points. And we're going to talk about DeAaron Fox shortly, but 31.5 points less for Fox. Those of you in my Discord, I talked about this last night. DeAaron Fox at 31.5 points was too high. Now he's at 31 on PrizePicks, but you can get him over here on Sleeper at 31.5, and I still like less. Use promo code CRUSH. They'll double your deposit, and I'll give you a 30 free day trial. And if you're already on Sleeper and you still want to cash in, you can go over to Chalkboard right here. I got you covered here too, buddy. Another slip. Joel Embiid, 41.5 points, rebounds. Bang. Alternate line, buddy. It's alternate line season. 41.5 points, rebounds. He can put up 40 real points alone, and he's going to get 2 rebounds. I'm telling you right now. De'Aaron Fox, we got the crispy 31.5 less. And then the man, the myth, Nick Claxton. Same matchup, the 1v1 optimal run back, which I love more. 8.5 rebounds, which he is at 9 on PrizePicks. Value town, baby. All three are very good here. Again, chalkboard promo code CRUSH. I know a lot of you don't have chalkboard. A lot of you have cashed in on the promo, the 30-day free trial. Check your email boxes. I've gotten back to 90% of you, and I'll keep it rolling. Again, promo code CRUSH. You'll get your deposit match and a 30 free day trial of my Discord, which is where I do all my projections and live streams. Now, let's go back to PrizePicks. Captain, why do you cover PrizePicks so much when the lines are so bad? Because all of you guys love PrizePicks, okay? So it's the de facto place, but you can see the difference. They got Joel Embiid at 34.5, but we get to flex on PrizePicks. So you got to take the good with the bad. You got to do what it is. I play on all of them, and I don't care. So, Joel Embiid, with all that being said, you just made the list. Now let's move on. Nick Claxton, I showed you on the other thing. He was 8.5 rebounds. Now he's at 9 over here. So I like him over at 8.5. Do I like him to get 10? It's possible. I think he's going to land right on 9. In fact, I have him projected for around 9.8. It does give you push equity, so I would say it's in play over here on PrizePicks. Again, I like it way better on Sleeper and Chalkboard where you can get that value at 8.5, but he is in play. Now, clear the board! And let's talk about DeAaron Fox a little bit more. Okay, now, I don't like the matchup. Pace down spot, which is why I'm taking less on his points. But remember, 32, he's going to need 32 to beat us on Chalkboard and Sleeper. But if he lands on 31 here, it's a push. So, we get that half a point value. But listen, I understand the psychology. Going less on Fox is a fool's game, right? No one targets Fox more than this guy. I'm always on Fox. I'm always riding Fox. Pause! Nope, we're good. Resume. But I'm not interested in that 31 point number. It just seems like it's way too high. Just looking at it first glance. Not only that, but I have him projected to go for 30, okay? So he can still have 30 points is an amazing number, folks. He can still get 30 points and still not get 31 and have an amazing game. His ceiling is 40 in the last 5. As you can see, his floor is 26. It's always a sweat. It's 100% going to be a sweat here. I'm telling you right now, it's not for the faint of heart. I didn't really take it too much on PrizePicks because they bumped it down. It was at 31.5 last night, but on Chalkboard and Sleeper, you can still get it at 31.5. Now, you didn't think that I was going to talk about DeAaron Fox just to regurgitate the points now, did you? You didn't think that I was going to leave you with no other option for DeAaron Fox, did you? Think again, because if I can't interest you in the points, we can go right over here to the crispy 6.5 assists more. PrizePicks isn't moving this line. I'm not understanding why. He has a ceiling of obviously 15 assists. He's done it before, I think. Yeah, 16 actually. But it's most likely that he's going to land on 7. I have him projected to get just over 7. But the book line value, it's minus 135 across the board. So if he does get clamped by the Brooklyn Nets, Bridges and Co. If he gets clamped up, he should be facilitating it a little bit more, giving me a little bit more crispy value to this assist number. The books have the over juiced. I'm taking it on PrizePicks. Hopefully it doesn't bump to 7 before this video comes out. I thought it would be bumped by morning, but it hasn't. So it's here for you guys. You can take either or. I have both, exposure to both. I don't mind. Now, the next man that I'm going to talk about, I'm going right back to Philly, baby. The man that I cannot stand, DeAnthony Melton. It's rare that I target DeAnthony Melton because I don't think he's that great. But again, the matchup is too little to ignore. I have him going projection for right around 30. Look at my notepad. You know it's on the notepad. 0.93 fantasy points per minute with an 18% usage rate. Not that great, okay? We're going to need him to play 30 plus minutes to cover here, but as you can see, I even wrote it. The elite matchup. It's just game breaking, the elite matchup, folks. 34, 39, 30, 37, 15. He has an extremely low floor. He's going to have to come out tonight. He's going to have to score points. He's going to have to get rebounds and maybe, just maybe, a block and steal to cover here. It's 100% not a core play, but it's worthy of making this YouTube video. So DeAnthony Melton with your 0.98 fantasy points per minute, if he plays 33 minutes, he just made the list. Yes, sir. Now, a couple of general thoughts that I want to talk about, okay? You need to consider these pace-up spots. So, for example, the Miami Heat, most likely Caleb Martin, Jimmy Butler, Orlando Robinson, any of those guys are going to be in play versus the Charlotte Hornets. A lot of the players that I did like have since been bumped up. I'm going to give you a couple of dart options here because that's just the type of guy I am. Jamal Murray at 35 fantasy score. This is an in-play thing. It's a pace-up spot. How many times have we seen point guards, centers, small forwards, power forwards? It doesn't matter what spot you are. If you're playing the Atlanta Hawks, you're in play. It's that simple. So Jamal Murray, the man, the myth, Nikola Jokic, although I do think his points are a little bit too high, check this out. Nikola Jokic just had 2 of the worst games, if not 3 of the worst games he's ever played in a long time, okay? He let everybody down 3 times in a row, and now he gets to play the Atlanta Hawks. My brothers in Christ, I would tell you to flip a rigged coin. One side says chalk it, the other side says cash it. Flip it and determine which one of these 2 you're going to play. Nikola Jokic fantasy, Jamal Murray fantasy, both of them are in play. The matchup is outstanding. Joker is in a bounce back spot. Even when he plays terrible, he still puts 52 to 54 fantasy points up. The man is insane. And now he gets a cupcake matchup. Honestly, I've said this before. There's people on Twitter that love to tout Clint Capella being this defensive monster, but he's not. Joel Embiid just shredded him. Joel Embiid just destroyed him the other day, okay? Joel Embiid dropped like 36 real points on him. He's not doing anything. And even though Joker isn't somebody that can be clamped anyways, it's worth mentioning no one is stopping Jokic on the court. I don't care. You guys and everyone else on Twitter need to understand there are players that are matchup proof. And Joker and Embiid, those 2 guys are 2 of the top matchup proof guys in the league, okay? Matchup proof. It doesn't matter who is on the opposing side. They will not be stopped. They will impose their will wherever they go. It's just a matter of, are we going to get close games? Are their shots going to fall? And are they going to show up interested, okay? Which is the gambling aspect. But you're never going to convince me that Nikola Jokic isn't in a good matchup against the Atlanta Hawks, okay? I don't care what you're selling. I'm not buying that. So I talked about the 2 darts. Let's keep it moving. Now, Derrick Jones Jr. Brr, Derrick Jones. No Kyrie Irving. Cupcake matchup. 25 fantasy score. Baby, you just made the list. Absolutely. Took another prop from him last night. They bumped it all the way up, but now we get a fantasy score at 25, and I would be amiss if I didn't mention him. He's got point upside, block and steal equity, rebound upside, and he can dish out a couple of dimes. I am going to take a shot with no Kyrie Irving, and I'm going to play Derrick Jones Jr. He has a wrestling name. You love to say it. Just rolls off the top. Derrick Jones Jr. Does he respect the coin? That's all I need to know, Derrick. Are you going to respect my coin tonight if I put some coin on you? Let's find out. I'm putting you in play, buddy. More. Now, truth be told, there's a bunch of other plays that I like on this board, but I'm not going to sit here and go off on all of them because I need to get this video out. But if you want all the plays and the live stream where we're going to be today at 4:30 Central, building another community slip, and I will be answering all your questions. CaptainCrush.net, baby. Join the gold package. It's got to be gold. A lot of you guys join the silver, and then you're like, Cap, I can't get in the Discord because that's for gold. I will do my live streams. My live streams, everyone asks this. They're Monday through Friday, folks. Saturday and Sunday is my chill day. Sometime, it's rare, but sometimes I will come into the live stream on Saturday and Sunday, and I will do the Lord's work, but not every Saturday and Sunday. Okay, that's up to my discretion. But Monday through Friday, unless something crazy happens, you can set your watch. I will be on a live stream Monday through Friday, okay? Every day you'll get projections, even on Saturdays and Sundays, unless, again, something crazy happened. But you get the projections list, which is worth its weight in gold. You get the live streams. You get the community where there's a bunch of sharps. And remember, if you use any of my partners in the description, you can get a 30 free day trial. Just email me and let me know. But now we're going to swap on over to NFL because we get a double hitter, a double banger. Monday Night Football. Let's go. It's kind of crazy that both of these games are going to be going on at the same time, but that's just how it works. I don't know which game I'm going to watch. Probably, I don't know. I'll probably have them split screen side by side because I'm crazy like that. I wish they did a red zone for it. Just swap back and forth on red zone. That would be the elite nuts. Now, real quick, I want to go back and reflect on yesterday's Sunday night football slate because a lot of you guys know me for NBA, but you don't know that I love NFL too. All right, these were the props that I put out for NFL Part 1. This was my main nuke. As you guys, everybody loves a nuke slip, myself included. This was the nuke. Brock Purdy, 17.5 fantasy or more, 261. Cash them both. McCaffrey, 114 rush plus reception or fantasy. Cash the rush plus reception. Chalk the fantasy. He got goal line vultured by Mason. It is what it is. Mixon, 21.5 receiving yards, 15 fantasy. Cash. Jamar Chase, fantasy or receiving yards. The one that chalked the nuke slip. It went 4 or 5. I still got 2x. I'm very happy about it. I had 200 to win 2,000, but instead I only made 400. I'm very happy with that. But it could have been great. Jamar Chase and then Jake Browning, more 232 pass yards or 16 cash on both. If I told you that Jake Browning had 260 pass yards, you would honestly think that Jamar Chase got there, right? Right? It was a shame. And that is right here. As you can see, Purdy and Chase was the fly in the ointment, but it is what it is. I'll take my 2x. Browning did get hurt for what it's worth in the end. And then my part 2 right here. Pittman, 75 yards or receptions, cash. Brown, chalk. Elijah Moore, cash. DJ Moore, hooked. Cole Kmet, cash. Drake London, cash. Keenan Allen, Herbert got injured. I don't even count that. Alvin Kamara, the biggest sell job in history. And I don't have banned lists, my friends, my brothers in Christ. But the Saints are no longer in play. I'm done with the offensive coordinator. I'm done with the franchise. I'm done with Derek Carr. Poverty. It'll never be on my list again. And then last, Russell Wilson. Let him cook. 1.5 pass TDs. Bang. Cash it. And he hooked the fantasy score because he did throw that INT. So I show all you guys that because we have a 2-game slate tonight, and I want to show you guys that we do a little bit okay in football. Last night, listen, and I'm going to talk about this for a second too. For everybody in the Discord, for everybody in the YouTube, for all you guys, listen. When you take a slip full of overs in a same game parlay means one game and you're taking all the overs, and the game doesn't shoot out and it goes under, i.e. Eagles versus Cowboys, just kiss the slip goodbye. Has nothing to do with the players, has nothing to do with anything. It's just unlucky. That is what comes with gambling. It doesn't mean you made the wrong play or the read was wrong. None of that means anything. If you told me that Jalen Hurts was going to come out and have less fantasy points than the kickers last night, I would have laughed you off the stage. But it happened. He literally got lapped by Elliott and Aubrey, especially Aubrey, okay? Jalen Hurts fantasy soared under, but anyone that watched that game knows they didn't even try. They gave up. Okay? They didn't kick the 3 when they could have. It just didn't go their way. They literally just wanted to get out of there and try to save face. But Dak Prescott and the boys came in, and once they got going, they didn't have to do anything else either because the game was already locked up. You have to keep that stuff in mind, and I'm telling you that for today's slate too. If you take overs, you have got to know, and you've got to be at peace with it, that in the NFL, especially NBA too, blowouts and stuff happen. That's part of the gambling aspect. If you can't deal with that, then this is not for you. It sucks. I'll be the first person to tell you it sucks when you have coin on a player and they don't even get opportunity because there's just the game's out of hand. But folks, that's what it is, man. It's not a guaranteed. The only guarantee is that there is no guarantees. Now, I'll get off my soapbox and stop preaching because 90% of you have TikTok brain and you can't even listen to instruction. But for the 10%, I hope that helped you out. I hope that reinforced what you've been thinking and you already know. Now, let's talk about the Packers. Jaden Reed, remember, Romeo Doubs, there's no Watson today. So one of these, if not all 3 of these guys are in play. Lucky me, lucky you if you're in the Discord. I gave you this projection play last night. Jaden Reed was at 39.5 receiving yards. Told you every other sportsbook had him at 46. They were going to move that line, and now he's all the way up to 47. Listen, last week when the Packers were facing the Chiefs in prime time, I swept. I got lucky, but it was receiver roulette. Again, even with Watson, it's the same scenario here. Receiver roulette, Reed, Doubs, Wicks, all of these guys are in play. All their lines are low. All 3 of them could likely cover. All 3 of them could bust. I'm not afraid of the Giants defense. I see what the Packers just were able to do to the Chiefs defense, and I think they can continue moving. They're in playoff mode. They're trying to get back to Title Town and crush, and I will take my chances on Reed, even with the bump. But you remember, you can always go to chalkboard and take an alternate line. But even with the bump, I still like it. But again, I got lucky. I got it at 39.5. Wicks, he's the least of it. This is my favorite. Reed, Doubs, Wicks, in that order. But again, all 3 of these guys are in play, okay? It's Packer roulette, especially tonight. Now, I'm not sure which of the Giants to run it back with. I have no idea. It's the same situation. Look at how low these are. 26, 27, 14. Tommy DeVito. Is he going to be DeVitoing dimes? I'm not sure, man, but I don't know what I'm going to do. I would probably think Saquon would be the safest option to target, but again, I don't have any Giants. I'm just not going there for PrizePicks. But for DraftKings Showdown, I will be heavy on the Giants because anything can happen, one game sample size, and I will embrace the unknown variants that no one else wants to do, and I will have Giants onslaughts for the DraftKings Showdown slate tonight. Absolutely. Let's go. Now, Jordan Love, my season-long QB. I've had him since day one. The man, the myth, the legend. He's finally grown into what I always knew he could be. I love you, Jordan. Pun intended. 230.5 passing yards. Is that where I'm going? It's in play, but I got him projected for 228. My favorite for him would probably be either his rush yards at 9.5 because he's always in play to scramble. He's going to get like 2 to 3 rush attempts, and he can very well get 9.5 rush yards. My favorite would be a fantasy score, but guess what? They don't have him up here because they know he's a wagon. If you can find Jordan Love's fantasy score at 16 to 18, you take over and ask questions later, but I guess we would have to go with the pass attempts. I got it at 30.5 on other sites, but at 31.5, I can still make an argument for it. He likes to throw the ball. He's going to chuck. It's in play. Now, talked about the Packers. Now, who else is on the slate that we can talk about? Well, there's one guy that comes to mind. Tyreek Hill, chasing a 2K record. 22.5 fantasy score. Bang! It's in play. 32, 25, 30. Stinker 25. Listen, he has been a wagon. He's been playing out of his mind. He's the fastest cheetah on the field. I think that he can have a career game tonight versus the Titans. The Titans happen to be a pass funnel, but as always, my only fear is the blowout. He could get it all done and then just be just like last night with CeeDee Lamb, crushing, having a great game, but just didn't need to do much, so he goes under. That is a very, very likely scenario that could happen tonight, okay? But I am not getting off Tyreek Hill at 22.5 fantasy score. If he sells me tonight, well then, oh well, he sells me. I will take my L. I will say this, his receiving yards at 112 receiving yards. What are we doing here? Everything in my bones says take less on this, but I cannot do it. I won't do it. I can't do it. But make no mistake, this is the correct play. Less on 112 yards is the sharp play, but I can't and won't do it. If you got the stones for it, then buddy, you did it. That is the right play, but I don't care. I'm taking the wrong play. I'm not taking over at 112. I got it at 104, but at 112, that's too high, which is why I pivoted to the fantasy score. Hopefully he gets that. Also, I liked his receptions at 7. It's now been bumped to 7.5. It is what it is. I posted it last night. For those who are in the court, you got that value. I think he can get exactly 7 receptions, to be honest, and that gives me the push equity. So the last guy that I'm going to talk about is Derrick Henry, 57.5 rush yards. Oh my goodness, you hate to see it. I hate to see it myself, but 57.5, he can run for 80 yards in any given ISO play. Right up the gut. How many times have we seen Derrick Henry break off an 80-yard run, dude? This is the thing. He's probably going to get game scripted out, which would favor Spears because that's just how it's going to be. I would take a shot on Spears receiving yards. However, I did take a shot on Derrick Henry, 57.5. It does not feel good. I didn't like it, but as I said, he can just randomly get an 80-yard rushing touchdown. So at 57.5, it's too low. I have to take my shot. And the same applies for A-Chain or Mostart. Both of these are in play. Just flip a coin, honestly. Both of those guys are in play. Just flip a coin. Whatever one it lands on, that's the one you target. So I'm going to wrap it up there because it went longer than I needed to, and I need to get this thing edited and get it out to the masses. So I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Remember, if you want to get in the live stream later, it's CaptainCrush.net Gold Package. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I hope you had a fantastic weekend. Christmas is coming. Hopefully we start this week off with a bang and we can cash all of our slips. I appreciate you. Here's the salute. Good luck in all your contests, and buddy, let's crush.